It is great to meet you all and to hear your stories. First of all, Keisha, what is the product that has worked out so well for you? Tell us about it.
Sure. So I launched Sanaya applesauce, and we were the first company to recognize that millions of adults still love applesauce. So it's a plant-based snack, and all of the flavors are inspired by my growing up in the Bahamas. So all island-inspired flavors.
This is what's so fascinating about all business, but the food business lately, there seem to be endless new specialties that find a good following, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the niche in particular for us was, well, first of all, I am an adult applesauce lover and have been making my own special kind of applesauce for about 20 years, just as a hobby. But I started to see, exactly to your point, that the plant-based market was really, really picking up speed, and people were looking for alternatives to dairy snacks. So I felt like it was time to revisit applesauce as a more modern snack. Yeah.
So what were you doing at that time? Were you working a job somewhere?
I was, yep. I was the global head of HR at News Corp at the time. So I had a full-time job, and I'm still have a full-time job as the global head of HR of Tory Burch. So I do both, and so there's a team. Team Sanaya is how I'm able to do both. Yeah.
And I guess applesauce was a plant-based food before plant-based
That's
food
right.
was
That's
invented,
right. That's right. We talk about it being the original healthy snack. That's right.
So you have people paring apples and making it and putting it in bottles and jars right now, as we speak here, you and I.
As we
You
speak,
have employees.
We have employees. We're at a co-packing facility up in Rhode Island. Because we've now expanded thanks to Columbia Harlem Small Business Development Program. But yes, it started off with myself in my kitchen doing it, and it's expanded to the point where we now have employees who do this for us.
And what was the turning point where it went big, Keisha? What, in retrospect?
I think there were a couple of big pieces, but certainly when we joined this program, we had access to buyers that never would have, given us the time of day at this early stage. So there's something about legitimacy that this program really, buyers know that great products come out of this program. So we were able to have conversations with Columbia University and Whole Foods in Harlem, and it really just took off from there. Yeah.
Wow. Angel, you have done very well getting first of all, tell us what your product is, and then tell us how you've gotten it into big stores and magazines.
Yes. So our company is Maison 276. Maison is French for home. I grew up in New Orleans, and 276 is the house I grew up in. So a lot of the company has New Orleans references and fragrances that are inspired by growing up in the South. I actually began making products as a personal pain point. I never intended to start a business. I just grew weary of adding ingredients to the products I purchased, so I just started making products for my own personal use. And my family and friends were actually the ones that said, this stuff is really good, you should sell it. Like Keisha, I had a very demanding full-time job, and over time, I began making products in my home, like many DIY beautypreneurs and entrepreneurs, and selling them via e-commerce. Our big break came when we were discovered by Essence. In 2016, they had a beauty box subscription program, and they offered us the opportunity to put our pomegranate kiss body butter and distribute it to over 14,000 of their subscribers.
So Essence Magazine found you.
Yes.
And
yes.
how did they find you? From your website? Do you know how?
One of their staff members had purchased my product, the product that I was still making in my kitchen. And so when they gave us the opportunity to distribute the product to their subscribers, I was still making product in my kitchen. In 9 months, I had to become incorporated. I had to find a manufacturer. I had to become a real company so that I could do business with Time Inc., who at the time still owned Essence. But that was a huge opportunity for us. And as I began to get more exposure because of that, people kept asking, well, what do you do to your hair? And so I thought, well, I guess I should do hair products too. And so I created a hair care system based on how I take care of my own hair.
Wow.
And that's how we got into Sally Beauty.
And did Sally call you, or did you
They
call
did.
Sally?
No, they actually did call me through a broker. Several months later, I actually
You
met
can't believe
them.
this is happening.
No,
right? That's a great
Keisha and I probably
story.
have a lot of the same. I
Yeah.
can't believe this is happening stories.
But you were on the case. I mean, you were doing what you were supposed to be doing, and partly helped by social media now. You got noticed, whereas perhaps 20, 30 years ago, it wouldn't have
Absolutely.
happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they called, we were just starting in the Columbia Harlem Small Business Development Program. So the timing was so perfect because I had Glamis and our other professors, Karen Simmons, and so I had immediate access to people who knew how to help me maneuver retail because it's a completely different environment than e-commerce, and so we could not have been successful without having those resources available to us.
This is Glamis, who has been the mentor, teacher, consultant, whatever the word is, who's also very recently won just about the top SBA Advisors Prize in the whole country. Glamis, what do you make of these stories? Tell us how it really happened, Glamis.
It just makes me happy to see how their progress, how they came to us, how beautiful and well they're doing, where they were, and that's what I care about. Where you started, where are you now? And where will you be later on? And my job very much is just tell them, make some changes.
Like what?
Well, she can tell you the changes.
You're
I mean,
laughing.
Well, my first meeting with Glamis, she said, "You have to change the name of your company." We didn't even get to talk about products. We didn't talk about manufacturing. She just said, "This has to change." And in the back of my head, I kind of thought I might have to, but I really hadn't given it up yet.
So you changed it from, did you change it?
Previously, the original name of the company was La Belle Femme.
Maison is much better.
Yes, it definitely is.
It's home, it's you.
Yeah, it is.
yeah, and the reason for that is because I just Googled the name of the business and I saw that she may have conflict to grow. And when you start a business, we want them to start without any conflict possible.
But see, that's so interesting because I cannot remember now the first name that you gave, what you worked on and came up with. But then when you get the right one, I remembered it. I was able to repeat it back because there was some story behind it.
Right.
How did Glamis help you?
So, when I got to the program first, I was still at the stage where we were creating out of an incubator, right? So we were sharing a commercial kitchen, and so a lot of our focus was on how do we find a co-packer, a large enough manufacturing facility. Food production comes with so much risk. And every time you get to the next stage, it's important for you to understand that you have the right experts and that you have the right, nutrition and scientists and all of the things that to be able to produce at the level of a Columbia University or Amazon. So the work on our side was around, making sure that we had the right food scientists and the right experts helping us so that we could scale, which is not anything from my background. So not stuff that I would have been able to do on my own.
Keisha, how did you do this with a full-time job?
Right. So working around the clock, number one, but also really I had to engage a team probably sooner than most entrepreneurs. So I engaged at the beginning as a 5-week kind of consulting assignment, someone to help me come in and help to find a manufacturing facility. And this is a lesson that I've learned over the course of building out the teams is sometimes you have to start with very small short-term assignments to figure out whether or not there's the right chemistry, right, between you and maybe the person. But Zach, who's now the president of the company, he started off as a 5-week assignment helping me to find a manufacturing facility and has, now takes care of all of the business development and production and all of that stuff.
I've never heard somebody say that they did it quite that way. It's so smart. You recognized early, I have to hire somebody to find me this packer or whatever it was.
Yes.
I have no idea where to begin.
That's right.
I don't hear many people, Glamis, smart enough to do that. They try to get up earlier in the morning and do it themselves, and they're just burned out. Am I right or wrong?
Right, and cooking or making it at their home,
Yeah.
and we totally want them to move to labs. We move them to commercial kitchens.
Right.
We don't want people to eat or use products that are not totally certified and with all permits required,
Yep.
and authorizations and certifications. It just opens up more opportunities for them to
That's right.
expand their business and grow. It gives them the assertion that any product needs.
You know, I'm just also thinking, Keisha, that maybe an advantage you had was working at a big company as opposed to just only being in the home
Sure.
or as a mom
Sure.
working at home. You saw how the big companies did it.
yes,
So
yep.
that might have given you some ideas.
Yep, I definitely had that perspective, and also it informed me even moving this from a hobby into a real business. If I hadn't seen that there really was white space in the applesauce market, it wouldn't have made sense to move forward. But I did a lot of research on the difference between applesauce and the growth of yogurt and how they really focused on what adult consumers wanted. And applesauce has been focused just on what kids want, and it's left a huge gap in the market. So that was really what propelled me forward.
How long ago was this that you were researching yogurt and applesauce?
2017, January of 2017.
Yep.
Yes.
2 years ago?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Yes.
Want to start a business
Yeah.
for me? I'll hire you to start a business for me.
Yeah.
And you have some exciting new horizon that you're going to hit.
We do. In just a few short weeks, we're going to be launching in the UK via one of their home shopping networks. They also found us.
Wow.
We got a call from a broker in the UK in January, and their firm began pitching our business, and one of the home shopping networks in the UK has engaged us. So we're very, very excited to be launching there. It's a whole new market.
So will you be flying to London to do TV appearances now?
I will.
So
yeah.
How exciting. huh?
So exciting.
Yeah, she's gonna take me.
So exciting.
Wow.
I will. Yeah.
Glamis, what have you seen the differences between the businesses that make it and that don't? Broadly.
What I see is entrepreneurs who have an open mind to accept advice are the ones who make
Yeah.
it. Entrepreneurs who are close and they want to keep doing the things how they do it, they have been doing it, pretty much they're going to keep doing the same. And that has been my observation through the years, that when they want to accept change, they change it, and it's only for better.
Well, the SBA and the Small Business Development Corporation and also SCORE, which is related with them, all do a wonderful job. And it's been inspirational and just great to meet you and hear your stories.
Yeah, and we are so happy that we have Columbia University supporting the community, number one. Without their support, there wouldn't be Harlem local vendors. There wouldn't be any other Harlem community business program that we manage. All both very successful programs. And without their support, nothing would move.
Thank you, Columbia. Absolutely. Thanks, folks. Thank you very much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
having us. Thank you.